Okay, I did a card today that I thought looked reasonably dynamic and effective for, I don't know, the number of kind of techniques used on it. I'm going to see that if I can do a 10-minute version of that card, okay? We'll see. I don't know. Now, that was a half-page card, though, and it was pretty quick considering that, okay? So I am applying some blue dye-based ink. I'm not applying it too thickly, okay? Because we're going to have this area in here primarily for the tree that's going to be used in there, or trees, okay? Now this is a quarter-page card, so I'm not going to have a lot of space, but we'll see if we can create kind of a corridor-looking situation. All right, so that was some Memento blues up there, and then we'll apply some of the Distress Ink walnut stain down below, okay? Now, going through some additional tones would be more effective for a richer surface, but again, we're doing this for speed's sake, okay? So it's kind of, I don't know, I guess it's practical, but it's also kind of the novelty of it for me. Just seeing what can be done here, okay? Now, this isn't real smooth or anything like that, okay? If we were using some re-inkers, it would be much smoother, but I'm thinking maybe it doesn't even matter because of the other things that we're going to do on here. So, let's see. All right, my ochre thing is smashed down. I think someone else... I don't know, I must have been stamping with someone else. Because I would never smash down that pad like that. Sometimes people kind of smash their applicators down in there. It might have been my son when he was little. Okay, so going with a little bit of green in here, okay? And let's see. Let's go with a little bit of blending on here. I'm not going to go with too many colors, again, because we're going for speed here. Okay. All right. Kind of a haphazard type of application, but let's see how it goes. All right. Let's go with this one right here. This is it's a fairly large stamp, so we're going for a lot of coverage here. So again, that sky up there, I guess it didn't really matter if I applied things too, I don't know, carefully, methodically. I'm not careful about it, but I'm more, I don't know, maybe complete with my application of ink. It would have been a lot thicker if I wasn't going for, if time wasn't a factor. Okay. Okay, now, I'm not going to group this. I'm going to leave a little bit of room in here. So let's go with this one a little bit higher. We'll put our focal point animal in there again, okay? All right, so just a little bit of a corridor here as a visual lead-in, I call it, okay? And let's see what I did here. Let's go with these rocks. Let's go with the... walnut stain again, and we will use my Tiny Rocks Small here, okay? And see, every time you ink it, you start from the outside and then working your way in like so, okay? And then from this side, you work it from this side in like this, okay? And that way you get this kind of nice perimeter. It's kind of like a vignette forming. Now the walnut stain works pretty good for this one. I was using a couple different tones of brown, but I think this is adequate here, especially for a quick scene, okay? Just using one color. Okay. And see this? You're using it as like a tonal device, okay? So don't think about this, if you're using it this way, as a stamp, like I'm making impressions. Just see it as something that you're just kind of tapping down like this, okay? Okay, so let's get into the fences here, okay? Now we're going to do this in the Claire. All right. Inked up more than I needed here, but better to ink up too much than not enough, okay? All right, so you got one fence going in there, and we'll have another fence coming in from the other side. I am going with the smaller fences on this one, okay? Just, you know, of course, due to the scale here. And let's go about right here. I was trying to kind of do it a little bit off from the previous one. I don't know. Yeah, they're pretty equal, I guess, on height. All right, now if we want to, you can still go with, you know, some of these reeds here, like this. Just kind of putting a little bit of additional foreground into the piece. And one of the things that I did on my previous one was I thought, let's go with a couple of these rocks like this where they're actually raised, okay? Now, I don't know if that one's going to be raised, but a little bit of an extra touch in there. And let's see, I think I am going to go for an embossed autumn leaves stamp here. The last time I thought, it looks okay, kind of recessed, but I thought, the word stamp could have been raised. So let's go ahead and have that one kind of raised out from the back like that, have it pop up like that, just for a little bit of added, I don't know, visual dimension. Okay, and we'll come in like about like so. You can put it wherever you want. You can center it higher, lower, something like that. Okay, that is from Scenic Sentiments 6, I think. And okay, so here's the things that I really love here. I love these large 3mm paint pens on here. Okay, I need to be careful that I'm not touching all that black in here, so I'm going to do this from this angle here. So these large tip, bold tip acrylic paint pens really leave kind of a nice little drop of ink. I mean, when you use them as fashion, of course, you know, you can write with them too, and they'll leave a good mark. But it's leaving enough of a wet, bold application that it will give me time to apply my embossing powders to it and have them stick, okay? Now, I'm doing this on glossy cardstock, so it's not absorbing my inks as fast as like a matte. So I haven't tried this on matte yet. If I did, I would do it on like the satin, which is a little bit more, it's a little bit more sealed than a matte, but it looks really close to matte. It just has a slight sheen to it, okay? All right, so there that is, like so. And let's see, I'm trying to decide if I want to go with any other colors on that. I think that's fine. Okay, let's do the deer afterwards, and I think we're ready to emboss. I don't know. Seems like it came up too fast or something. Okay, we're at 9 minutes, all right, and it's not too bad. All right, I'm kind of curious to know if how much will stick to some of those secondary impressions of the black tiny rocks that I used. You know, I stamped it, you know, a couple times, and that, you know, the second time wasn't very wet at all. So let's see what sticks to that. Okay, I'm not going to include formatting the card in that 10-minute time frame, although I am getting very close. I don't think I'm going to make the 10. Let's see if we can go 12 or something like that, though. Okay, that is clear embossing powder, okay. knock off a little bit of the excess. And let's see how it goes here. Okay, there we have our molten, oops, I forgot the autumn leaves. Yeah, those do look good, embossed up there. They really stand out against the trees, much better embossed. The thing I like about embossing is that after you emboss it, I don't know, it's pretty cool to the touch right away. You can touch it, you know, and it's all good. Okay, let's go for I'm going to go for the dye-based impression of this deer, just to set it back in the distance a little bit more. Let's see how we're doing on time. Oh, I went into the 12-minute. 13 minutes, is that still a quick card? I hope it is. That doesn't take too long. Okay, let's see. Maybe I should have done this one, a little bit of a smaller one for this card, but it doesn't look too bad. It looks a little bit big for this scene, but not too bad. Alright, I dried that because I wanted to still use some of my white pigment ink on it. Where is my white pigment ink? Okay, time's a factor. Where'd it go? Brilliance. I'm looking for my Brilliance white. Oh, there it is. I've buried it underneath a bunch of other pads here. Alright, so let's apply some of this, and this card will be done. Okay, let's go where kind of light meets darker areas or imagery. Okay. Okay. Putting some right at the base of those trees down here, kind of a low-lying mist or something like that. My pad is really, really dry. My white pad, I really need to re-ink it at this point in time. Okay. Alright, but I think that is it. How's our time? We're at the 13:56 mark. Okay, I didn't make a 10-minute mark. There's a lot of technique in here, though, so for 14 minutes, that's really not too bad for all of the techniques that we've employed. We have a dye-based ink background. We've done the direct-to-stamp ink coloring and doing it twice with some fairly large pieces. And then we've done our tonal textured background in there. Then we have our embossed imagery in there, okay? So we've embossed our imagery, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images in that. Gone back in and stamped our figure in dye-based ink, so he looks a little bit recessed, doesn't he? You know, in comparison to the raised embossed area. And then we have all these little dots in here. That's not a small amount. You can see them right there, that texture. So that's quite a bit there for, you know, a 14-minute card. And then we'll format it, and, you know, we'll have a card. A little bit of matting around it. You can put it in a folded card if you want to. It could be the interior of a card too. That'd be kind of interesting. So anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. You can do these pretty fast, especially if it's in a quarter page card with this. There's a lot of things you can get away um, with the the embossing technique and whatnot. Like I said, you saw how sloppy my background was. It didn't even matter though, did it? Because everything's kind of covered up, but we get that nice kind of foundation. You see, it looks like a little bit of interior glow. Okay, so anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the embossed aspen quick card.